Couple of things before we start. I live in Brooklyn. They are doing construction next door and my throat is shot. So I am speaking in a lower register. Otherwise, I sound like this and you can't really hear me. So this is not how I sound. Hello everybody, I'm the co-creator of These Lies End in Death, along with Chief Illustrator Creamton Spencer. I'm also the Editor-in-Chief of Forbidden Origins Comics, and this is our Q&A for These Lies End in Death. So first question comes from NoNeck29. How long did writing the script take? If you want to talk about just hours like typing, probably 6 hours all come together. There's a lot of time just staring at a blank piece of paper. I tend to do a lot of the writing like in my head, so like when I'm at work I'm like thinking of the pages and the construction like that. But if you want to talk about strictly what it takes to type, probably 6 hours. Sarah Cito asks, what is the most rewarding or exciting about your work? Probably watching Kareem draw what I wrote. That's probably the greatest thing about the thing. It's kind of cool to see like whatever you write be put to like a screen, a book, just like something physical that you can have in your hand. It's really cool that I wrote this and I get to look at it and I get to see the pictures inside it that I wrote. So that's what I find most rewarding. M Flame asks, how long from idea to publishing did it take for the old universe? So Eric and Armani created the old universe. They also founded the company Forbidden Origins back in 2009. They were probably in middle school. They came up with this idea. And then over the next decade, they kept adding to the lore and everything until they got their story worked out. And then when the lockdown happened, they found the opportunity to actually write it out and get it published. If you want to know about These Lies End in Death very specifically, back in September 2023, Eric and Armani gave me a call to talk about my short story I did for them for Echoes of the Old Universe, the last entry of the legendary Asher Kells. During that call, they were like, hey, you added a lot of world building to our universe. Can you turn that into a comic? The answer is about a decade for the old universe, and for These Lies End in Death, a little over a year. Creative executive Roberto Cuevas asks, what's it like going from books to comics? What was easy and what was challenging? So funny thing about me is I started writing sketch comedy when I first started writing. So I was very visual when it came to writing. So I actually have an easier time writing comic books and screenplays than prose. My issue with prose is that it either has to come out perfect for me or I have to not care about it and just like dump it out. So prose takes a lot more time. It does, well, obviously, like my prose writing can like look prettier than my script writing because I'm spending so much time focusing line by line. Whereas when it comes to comic books, I'm focused on, hey, artist, what can you do with this? Or, hey, director of this film, this is the basic idea, add your own thing to it. Because like more screenplay and like comic book stuff is based on collaboration, whereas prose is singular. I think it's easier to work in a screenplay because of that, in a comic book play. Originator Noah asks, why is Seth such a cutie patootie?
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass.
Grimly Gala, who I believe has a podcast that Eric and Armani was just on. So all of the things, how did you format it? What software did you use? Where are you printing it? Will it be an ongoing series or a one-off? Also, what is the creation process between artist and story writer? Well, in terms of formatting, decided to do it in issues, like single issues, 24 pages. We're going to have about 6 issues in the initial run. I do have plans for like more story arcs, which means like more issues past these 6, but we're going to see how well these 6 do. I feel like where we're ending it now, it'll serve as like a nice origin story for the short story I wrote in Echoes of the Old Universe, the last entry of the legendary Asher Kells. But I do have a lot more planned with those characters, so if you guys want to see more, you should buy more. Where are we printing it? Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, I believe we also have an in with. So if you guys basically have a store, we're there. We did get a publisher for that. What software did you use? I believe Kareem used Photoshop for the art. I actually used 3 different pieces of software to do a script. The first is Scrivener. It's a screenwriting software. There is a comic book mode in it, which I use. It just kind of auto formats it for you, or it like gets it really close, and then you can kind of shape it around however you want. After I finish the script, then I actually use my phone to storyboard the script, and I found an app called Finger Manga, I believe it is. And the way that works is it'll let you create a bunch of panel layouts and like pages and stuff like that, so that I draw like what I want in these pages, and then I combine them all in like Microsoft Word or LibreOffice, whatever you want to do, and until one giant script where it's the comic book script that I wrote, and then I separate the scripts by the finger painting I essentially did to give that to Kareem. That way Kareem knows what I'm going for. He doesn't always follow what I draw, but he shouldn't, because I'm not an artist. He is the artist, but it gives him an idea of what I want. Our co-founder Eric asks, favorite comic arc and favorite manga arc. So favorite comic arc, I do have a soft spot for J. Michael Straczynski's run on Spider-Man, and of course Brian Michael Bendis' run on Ultimate Spider-Man. They both came out at a time where I started getting into comics. I think I read a couple growing up in the 90s. I remember, I think it was called Spider-Man 2000, and it had a woman, an assassin. I don't think it was Elektra, but she looked a lot like Elektra. It could have been Elektra attacking Spider-Man on the cover. In terms of favorite arc though, you tend to look at runs from like superhero comics, like Snyder's run on Batman, Tomasi's run on Superman. I'm a fan of Tom Taylor's run on Nightwing. Know a lot of people aren't, but I am very interested in it. But in terms of favorite, I'll have to say Sandman by Hatsune Miku. Well, that's a joke. It's just the author's a terrible person now. Well, I guess forever. We just didn't know about it. Anyway, it's volume 4 if you're looking for collected editions. I can't full-throatedly recommend them anymore given the author and the fact that he's still alive and gets money from it. So get it used or pick it up online. Do whatever you have to. It's volume 4 though. It's this arc where the Sandman invites like a bunch of gods and mystical dreamlike creatures to his house, kind of welcome them and go like, hey, I'm back from like my 100-year captivity. Let's establish the new order. In terms of manga arc, really into Chainsaw Man. Incredible. I still have to catch up on part 2. 20th Century Boys. Of course, I am a kid of the 90s. Shows like Yu Yu Hakusho, sometimes Inuyasha. Definitely Sailor Moon, you can see back there. But it's Dragon Ball. Probably the arc, my favorite arc from Dragon Ball. The first World Tournament arc. You know, you see the first appearance of Jackie Chun, Master Roshi, joining the tournament, essentially to teach Goku a lesson in that, hey, there are better people than you. I know you think you're super strong. I know you could have beaten everybody else here, but I'm joining the competition because I'm going to beat you, and me beating you is going to make you be better in the future. So that's probably my favorite art. All right, from originator Angel, what comics inspired you to write your own? What's the most challenging part of writing a comic as opposed to other forms of writing, and what advice would you give to someone who wants to write their own comics? So what inspired me? Again, Sandman. Fantastic writing in there. Like this, I really dig wavy, like supernatural, ethereal stuff. So Dragon Ball, One Piece. In terms of These Lies End in Death specifically, definitely One Piece. Not as much horror, not a lot of Sandman stuff, but yeah, Andor and One Piece, let's say. You have to be aware how time works very differently in still images than it does in like film or even in like prose. So this all will dovetail into what advice I would give. You need to understand cause and effect. Let's say Spider-Man punches a bad guy, right? You write Spider-Man punches a bad guy, he falls on the ground and checks his jaw. Now, that's at least 2 images. And it doesn't look great in 2 images because it looks like a big time skip between Spider-Man punching guy, ground checking his chin. Like, you can still understand that that's what's happening, but like maybe punch, he lands, and then he checks his chin. You can do a lot of things. It depends on how much room you're working with. It depends on what kind of pacing you're going for. But again, pay attention to cause and effect. XO Gaming Waffles XO. Any kind of questions? Okay, so if you could be a superhero or a supervillain, why? And what would be your power and hero villain name? I'd like to be a superhero. I would feel very guilty if I was a villain. Now, I might do some villain shit. So, there's a lot of gray area, especially if I wanted to dress in green overall, like green shirt, green hat with an L on it, like maybe. In terms of power and hero villain name, I have a job that would be very helpful if I had like the Flash's powers, just like running everywhere, just I do fantasize about that a lot. I do fantasize about Superman's powers, but for other reasons. I live in New York, so Spider-Man's would be pretty cool. An interesting power I think is to be able to turn into light, just to become light, because You're as fast as the Flash, go invisible, like people punch you and you go through them. You can kind of look like whatever you want. It's like a multi-purpose power. Fly, you'd probably be strong. I don't know, probably. I saw Kuzan in One Piece, so I'm like, that looks sick. Yeah, maybe light. Villain name, probably wouldn't have one. Hero name too, probably wouldn't have one. Just kind of go around, let people call me whatever, just do what I need to do, that kind of stuff. Last question from Kaiser. Will there be opportunities for other artists to create variant covers, and will it be a physical or digital comic book? So our comic book is actually going to be physical and digital. You can purchase both online at Amazon, or selling physical copies at Barnes & Noble and Walmart and stuff like that. Those are print on demand, so you do have to ask for them. If that's how you want to get it shipped, you can also just go to a website and purchase it from there. In terms of variant covers, that is the plan eventually. Once we get more successful, once we get more artists, I would love to be able to multiple runs of our single issue. Okay, this run has like this traditional cover, but maybe we got an artist who wants to do another cover that is inspired by another part of the issue. So it'd be really fun, and we're definitely exploring that idea. So just stay tuned. If you want to make that idea a reality, please purchase our first comic, These Lies End in Death, coming out January 28th. The more you purchase, obviously we're going to get a lot more money to put into the comics themselves. Hopefully we'll be able to expand the team and create more comic books for you to enjoy and more cover arts for you to enjoy. Maybe even like put out deluxe editions of these books. Like once they're all out, then we can collect them, and then you'll be able to see all the cover arts and stuff like that. I'd love for that to be able to happen, especially as Forbidden Origins, like comic book editor-in-chief. Yeah, I would love that. So that's it for me for the Q&A. You should follow us online. We have a Discord, Forbidden Origins. You can find us on Threads, TikTok, YouTube. If you want to see more Q&A videos like this, just like and subscribe, let us know. We are working on a ton of projects. We've even like created a little flow chart of like what our projects are in the future. So like if any of those people want to do Q&As and you want to ask some questions, please feel free. Hopefully this does well enough that we continue doing it and we grow and grow and continue to grow, so that we have more originators doing Q&As and more people asking questions. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, and purchase These Lies End in Death this January 28th. It's already up for pre-order on Amazon.com, and it will be available to purchase after. Everybody have a good day.